Pembroke College Oxford has developed a unique method for getting students from non-traditional backgrounds interested in higher education. This academic approach introduces them to non-vocational subjects that they might not have considered studying, raising aspirations and raising attainment. The academic teaching is provided by a group from Pembroke College, headed by Access Fellow Dr. Peter Klaus, who is supported by fellows, postgraduates and many volunteer undergraduates. The scheme is coordinated through hubs in London and North West England and aims to encourage and inform credible applications to university, increasing both the reach and diversity of academic institutions. But it isn't an easy option.
Our frustration was that the projects tended to be short-term, quick bursts, expecting to take people around Oxford or Cambridge and getting them to apply. And we always felt it needed to be a longer-term, deeper programme, which was academically driven.
This might have some implications for seriously helping sixth form college such as B6 to send more young people not just to Pembroke, not just to Oxford, not just to Oxford or Cambridge, but perhaps to Russell Group, competitive type of universities.
It was really interesting to think the sort of things you could learn from that experience, even though it's only like a year long. We're going to learn a lot from it.
It teaches students how to be independent and puts you in the mindset of how to be an undergraduate student.
What we've seen is people start to take up non-instrumental humanities-based degrees as a result of that, which has been really positive.
We want to raise young people's aspirations that Oxford, Cambridge, Russell Group universities are open to them, and we want to educate them and their parents to aspire to these top universities.
At the very start of the programme, applicants are brought to Pembroke College for individual interviews. These are staged so they are identical to the kind of traditional university interview that students could face in the future.
We invite as many people as possible to come for a mini interview, and that is their first experience actually of Oxford and Pembroke. So that can be daunting for the best prepared person.
Obviously the main emphasis is in humanities, so it's students who may have already been studying humanities and enjoying those subjects at GCSE, but also open to students who just feel that they might have an interest in that area.
When we got out of the coach, it was like sort of stepping out onto an alien world or something. We were very wide-eyed when we saw it, and that was very enlightening.
It was challenging, but it was enjoyable at the same time, because there was a lot of questions that I really had to think about, and it's stuff that you never really get at A-level. You don't really get the questions they were asking, asked to you at A-level. So it's interesting thinking a different way.
After an interview, successful A-level students spend a year following a demanding academic programme of seminars, with preparatory reading on the broad theme of the Enlightenment and Romanticism.
You're given a list of books where you go off independently and you study them, and then you come back and you have to talk about them and defend them. I thought that was quite a different way of studying and learning than it was doing A-levels. So I thought that the kind of independence that you got and the expectation as well was quite different. So I thought that was quite liberating for me, for doing the seminars, yeah.
I'm really enjoying learning about new things, and they all relate to the subjects I'm doing, because I'm doing philosophy and history, so they complement what I'm studying, and it's nice to get an experience of what university kind of things will be like and what subjects, because I want to study history, so it's nice to get a feel for what that might be like when I go to study history.
The ability to actually think deeply about issues and read beyond what is being said on the paper, and attention to detail, and actually think about various ideas and how it relates back to an historical period, and how it relates back to ideas other thinkers might have had, and being able to think like that is what I hope to gain from this experience, and knowledge.
It's not a type of learning I've ever experienced before, but it's been really interesting and really informative. I mean, I've learnt some stuff in the past 6 weeks that I'd probably never have had the chance to learn even at university. It's been a real insight. Some of the people we've had talk to us, not just at Oxford, but when they've come to us here, has been amazing. I mean, the last few lectures have just been a different experience, and it really makes me interested about what I can learn in the future, not just from university, but from the whole subject, what I can branch off and learn on my own.
At Easter, the students take part in an intensive study skills course at B6 College in Hackney, led by Pembroke undergraduates.
I've already got an application at Oxford. I came to the Easter Study School to gain more skills and just really to prepare me for when I go to university. And I think it's been extremely beneficial. I've really learned a lot of skills, especially when debating and discussing with other people.
Your students will sit together in a small group with an undergraduate, go through reading, maybe attend a lecture or two about that topic, and then on the third day they'll be asked to present their work to the rest of the sort of larger conference, to the other groups.
It's kind of opened my eyes to all the different subjects that I thought I wouldn't have been interested in, like law. I never thought that would be something I'd take to, but it's actually a really interesting subject once you kind of understand it.
What the programme allows me as perhaps a postgraduate tutor to do, and that's certainly something that I feel very privileged to be able to do, is kind of just to let them do what they want, to discuss, to go off on tangents, cover material that is outside of the curriculum. And I feel very privileged as a teacher because I realise that's not an opportunity that you normally get in a classroom situation. And students, of course, respond very, very, very kind of well to that challenge and this kind of tangential notion of teaching and being able to talk about whatever. All students in general, I think, regardless of ability, respond very well to kind of stretch and challenge and to unusual, exciting material. And simply the curriculum doesn't often respond to this. And this is, in a very small way, what the Pembroke programme can kind of speak to and try to tackle.
Working with the undergraduates especially, it means that they've got more of an inside knowledge on it, so it's not just what your teachers are telling you about it, it's someone who's actually going through it.
I think the undergrads who's teaching me is just so nice. I feel like she's just like a friend. So it's, you're free to share ideas, you don't really feel intimidated, like you're going to say something stupid, because it's just relaxed. And because it's so relaxed, you're able to learn more and actually able to think more critically, you know, and it's great.
The year culminates in a week-long residential summer school at Pembroke College, where the students are given a real taste of undergraduate life. They experience tutorials and mentoring and are required to produce their own essay.
We're in the library currently doing research on a poem that we've been given, so I think it's a really good opportunity for me to get an idea of what I'll be doing next year if I go to university.
We got a selection of 3 questions, we got a reading list, and we're told to get on with it and, you know, produce an essay for Thursday. And it was a lot of fun because, you know, got to choose, really got to read around something. It felt like you were teaching yourself something.
I think that what we offered to the table more than anything was our experiences being students who come from similar backgrounds as these students in the United States, and talking about the comparing and contrasting, I guess, accessibility issues in the United States compared to the UK.
Pembroke has also been instrumental in establishing subject centres open to all schools in the hub school areas, to encourage engagement with non-vocational degree subjects such as theology, languages, some sciences and classics. Each one offers a series of lectures, visits and study skills support, as well as a chance to participate in an Oxford residential summer school.
Well, the subject centres are based on exactly the same model as the course. That is, there is a process of seminars, so we get academics from Oxford and Pembroke, but also from partner universities to turn up around a theme and give a seminar lecture.
They've been absolutely inspired by listening to individuals who are, as I said, right at the cutting edge of what's happening. And also the key thing that people may not realise is that at the end of those lectures, they get the opportunity to have one-to-one chats with the lecturers before they leave, and it's been truly inspirational for our learners.
There's been 6 lectures. We also offer trips out to different research laboratories, different research institutions. So for example, we went to Daresbury to look at SuperSTEM, which is a electron microscope. And we've been to the materials department in the Graphene Institution at Manchester, for example.
The feedback we've had is that the students find it hard to see how the maths that they learn in schools is related to anything useful. Why would they ever need to use it? So what we've been doing is going through examples of real life scenarios where you need to use maths. So hopefully they'll come away feeling like maths is useful and not just a subject they have to do.
I can't speak for anywhere other than the Northwest, that the Northwest students tend to be very northern centric, and therefore students who are more than capable of being a success an Oxbridge degree do not travel down, and it's ruining. It's not ruining, but it's you know, their potential is not being fulfilled simply because they won't travel beyond Leeds.
So it's trying to encourage them to get used to that idea that Oxford is something that they could aspire to if they want it, and if it's right for them.
I think it's an absolutely amazing scheme that young people are offered a sort of wonderful insight into the sort of hidden world of mystery and wonder of philosophy and theology that is largely missing from mainstream media, and a lot of students don't understand just how fascinating those secret worlds are.
It helps to introduce them to university-style learning and just to get them, you know, thinking a bit more creatively about you know, a whole variety of different academic topics.
We teach Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, Italian, Persian, French, and Spanish. We're trying to promote languages for people who didn't have background in those languages. We hope that will raise their aspiration to go to Russell Group, and maybe some will end up in Pembroke College because we have just started having a good relationship with them.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Xavier Rassan. Je travaille au département des langues de l'Open University, où nous développons des cours de langue du niveau débutant au niveau licence. I think learning languages help us understanding more cultures. It's like a window open to the world. Every time you learn a new language, you have an opportunity to open this window a bit wider.
There's only so much that we get taught in our language lessons in school, and I know that there's a lot more to the language than just the sort of using it as a tool.
Languages aren't a daunting prospect at university, and they're something that are actually really exciting because there are so many different strands of languages you can pursue, whether it's literature or politics or religion or culture. There's so much different kind of, you know, so many options, which is fantastic.
As their influence on students is often pivotal to decision-making about higher education, the subject centres seek to engage with local teachers as well as students. And each year, an information and networking day is held at Pembroke, with academics and teachers in conversation about their subjects. In addition, the college hosted its first teacher sabbatical during 2014, welcoming a teacher from B6 College for a residential study retreat.
This week I've been doing a teacher sabbatical being supervised by Dr. Nicholas Cole on the English Revolution or Civil Wars or Wars of the Three Kingdoms, as different historians like to call it. And it's been fantastic, the opportunity for teachers to actually get back to their subject and enrich their knowledge is a wonderful opportunity.
The success of such an intensive academic approach is clear. Students have gone on to Oxford, Cambridge and other research-intensive universities. One Hub College has experienced a 500% rise in Russell Group places, while many others are going further in their university careers than they ever thought possible.
In the future, I'd like more of our students, first of all, to consider applying to the programme itself, more students joining the programme, and then students who go through the programme seeing where they end up and where they've gone beyond it, where it's taken them to.
Everybody comes together really and helps each other out, and I've learnt things off some of my friends who I probably wouldn't have even spoke to now, and I call them friends that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
I can see our partnerships and the networking that it's been promoting really leading to other work.
And eventually what we'd like to do is push it down to school level and even primary school level, so that, you know, people can be inspired and aspire themselves at a younger age to really push on, that education becomes something that they really want to achieve and achieve well on.
Real concentrated resources and effort are being put now into getting students to look at things that perhaps they might not have considered before.
Now, the key job for us now is to make sure the hub grows in terms of allowing more and more students right across the North West region in all different types of schools and colleges having access to that unique opportunity.
We have a lot of students in this area who are very, very good and just don't see their own ability.
And it's given me the confidence to kind of not be afraid to apply to those top unis, and that you still have a chance. Don't think you're straight away just not going to get in. It's always worth trying.
I wouldn't just recommend it to other schools and colleges. I'd recommend it to the government as a way to rethink education more generally. I think it posits some very interesting notions about the way in which we can rethink classroom teacher and what might be on a curriculum, much more broadly than just in the kind of context of the Pembroke programme.
I think that it's proved to me that I will like university because I've liked the way I've been taught and I've liked the things, so it's made sure that I definitely will apply to university and I'm definitely going to apply for maths like I thought I would.
It's not about your race, culture, or your colour, anything. It's about you being motivated to always wanting what you want to do.
It's about all-round education. I think too often we think of education as being the training for passing a qualification. The idea of this is it's preparing you for a much wider range of thinking and a much wider range of subjects, a much wider range of universities, and it's training you to be an undergraduate. Because my fear is we can raise people's aspirations, but we also need to make sure that they're ready to go to university and to flourish and succeed.
I think that by having an opportunity and having this experience could really enlighten students and make them more confident when applying to universities, not just top universities, but just further education in general, and to follow their passions and how much they love their subject furthermore.